Hello everybody, I'm DSL and welcome to the city in the end that we've been building on this year, Space Rock, where in the previous episode we built this cocoa bean farm that we crushed down using this millstone to make some brown dye. But in today's episode we will be stepping away from the create components and the create contraptions and even away from the big builds to do some small building in areas like this so we can upgrade our city and make it look a little bit better. So a little while ago, we did exactly the same process in this area over here, where we added some texture to the floor, added some power lines, some bushes, and a bunch of other things to make this area look a little bit more lived in. And I have to admit that this street has become one of my favorite parts of the city, but we need to see if we can bring all of that up to this area as well, because for now we've got a pretty looking main street where if you run down here it doesn't look too bad. It looks really cluttered and functioning, but if you reach this point it's just open. There's nothing happening over here, and this is one of the areas that we will be addressing in today's episode. And then we might also look at areas like this which just ends abruptly. This is some form of chunk generation that I don't know, it doesn't look really nice, so I'm considering ripping out some of this, landscaping or terraforming this a little bit by building in some structures to keep this floor afloat, and just making everything look a whole lot better, because we need to think about making it look good as well, not just with big builds but with tiny detail as well. So I think we need to grab ourselves a backpack and see where we can tackle what first. Okay, so I've got my backpack set up over there. I restocked some of them, but I do believe we had majority of the items that we're going to use in this area in stock. But before we can build anything, we need to start planning. So first of all, I want to replicate the power lines again, and I don't really want them running in the center of this walkway because I do want to do some trees and stuff, the general idea. And I do think if we add them on this side, we kind of forming a visual barrier. So I'm thinking we'll maybe do power lines in this area, and we're just going to mark it out by doing something like this just to get a general idea. So all the way over here, and then I do think on this side we will run it to this side. Yep, I think so. Okay, I'm just going to leave that there. So this is a general idea for power lines, so we'll have all of those in this little area. Then we need to think of planters and benches and stuff like that. And then I want to give that illusion of lower and going higher towards that side. So we'll have the power lines which are relatively high. Then in the center, we want to do things that are, I do want to almost say medium size. So let's see, 3. And then this is the center, I do believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can do maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planters like that. And that's 5, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Oops. Sorry. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do like the idea of that doing that. And in this planter or this garden can maybe do this. So it actually directs you. You either go down or you walk around and you exit on this side, going that way. And then this one will be a little bit more narrow, so we'll form some form of barrier over here around this again. And then we can do maybe a 3 gap. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this might actually only have 1. So let's maybe move 2 of these up and we do something like this. I'm just thinking this is very close to the power, so maybe we should pick up on this line and rather have it off center. I don't know how I'm going to feel about that, so let's leave that out for now. But this should give a general idea of power lines, and then we've got flower beds or bushes and stuff like that. And I mean, some of these can have advertising in it as well. But then on this side, I think we should do benches. It all depends how thick, because I do believe these are going to be quite bulky. They're going to be like 3 wide. Like this. And then if those are 7, we can do 3 white benches that maybe fall in this area. So let's strip this out. So this could be maybe be where the benches are. So you have a little bench, you've got a little park, and you have everything running that way. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. I think that's going to work. Yes. Okay, cool. So that's the general idea, and I think what we need to do is first of all get the power lines in. So the power lines do take a while to build because of all the different components. So what I do think is I'm going to mock up something in a creative world, and then I'll bring you guys back once we have an idea of what's going to happen and the material list, and then we'll quickly run through it before we start a little build montage. Okay, so I've mocked up something and it doesn't require a lot of materials, but like I said, it's a bunch of things that are quite a pain to place, like chains. I don't know if anybody else feels the same, but I really don't like placing them in a long line. Same with glass pane or glass pane windows. Not a lot of fun. But anyway, so we've got all of those items, chains being the most, I do believe. And we've got some smokers, spruce fences, and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to grab all those resources, chuck them in my little schematic backpack over there, and then we will run a little build montage. But I need to warn you, you need to hold on to your seats because it's going to go really, really, really fast. So enjoy. Well, if you blinked, you might have not seen this, but we've got power lines, and already that makes such a big difference to this area. So we have this power line running into this building, connecting over here, and then we have one running just over the roof, connecting to the building at the back, and one connecting over here to this area, which I do think really brings this whole area together. Oh, I thought I saw a missing link there. But anyway, we then have him running all the way over, and on this point, I should say, we actually drop it down to a single line, and this single line just runs all the way over here, where it connects to this pole, and this is where it ends for now. So I don't know if we're going to continue over there, but I think it looks cool. So the next thing I need to tackle, or want to tackle, well, it's these two entrances. I really think we need to just give them some form of border or edging, or just make them look a little bit better. Same on this side, because, well, they're a safety hazard. I mean, sometimes I'm looking around, and then I find myself down here, which is not ideal. So that will be the next thing that we will tackle. So I'm going to go ahead, rip all of this out. Let's rip out all of this as well, just to open it up, and now we can look at planning something in this area. So while we do that, maybe let's pop down our bags over here. These are the ones I think I'm going to use for this build, and these are the ones that I just brought along because they're part of my backpacks. So let's see what we have in here that we can use for this build. Okay, so what I think we need to do is we can maybe use some andesite bars. That could work, or we could even use some of the industrial iron trapdoors. Maybe we can use some radiator fans in the design, industrial iron sheeting. We might be able to use some diagonal girders, some normal girders. And this should be it for a starting point. So let's see what we can build with all of that. I think we need to define the entrance, and we can do that by placing something like this. We can rip that one out as well. We can have our little defined entrance, and then we can go ahead and add maybe some form of wall. I do like the railing part of it, and I do think we should maybe not overcomplicate it and do something like this. Oh, that's the radiator fan. Not the one I wanted. I do want to use them, but I don't think that's the one we should use over here, so we can maybe do that. We can always add these on top like so. I don't mind that. Well, I honestly don't hate it. Now I'm thinking, what will it look like if we actually do this? I do like that, but I do think we should maybe do that at the back to create some form of visual barrier. So let's maybe do this, and we can have a double one running. So let's rip that out. Let's do something like this. can have that. I'm going to rip that out because I'm thinking maybe we should... Let's run over here, grab some shafts. Well, what will those look like if we do... Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. And then I'm thinking we should maybe do something where we have like a radiator fan over there. So again, in this one, we have a normal furnace. Do we have a blast furnace? We do. Let's do some blast furnaces. Right over here. Let's rip those two out. And let's do that. Add another one of those. Can we do... Come on. There we go. One like that. I do like that. I do like that a ton. And then over here we have, like mentioned, we're going to have these. Let's just make sure they're both pointing outwards. And then we can maybe even do this. And we can rip out this one like this. This is the thing, I don't know what this is going to look like from the outside, so that is something we just need to look at. But we can do lighting in this area, and then... that's a mistake. Okay, well, I guess we're doing that now for all of them. We're going to just rip that one out. Here we go. Honestly, I don't hate it. I do think it's very grey, but I really don't hate it. I am thinking we should maybe... Oops. I just ripped out that thing. I want to say rip out that one. Did I drop this all the way down? I did. Okay, cool. Rip out that one and maybe do some intrusive building. And what I mean by that is I'm going to show you just now. Let's do that like that. Let's have a furnace in... Ooh, we're going to have a furnace over there, but what I want to do is first do this. Rip that one out. Oh, it's just, I don't know why I didn't want to do that. Break that, but okay. And we have this over here. And now we can rip out this one and add another furnace right there. Yeah, I kind of like that. Well, that's perfect. This is what I think it should look like. Like mentioned, it's just something different. It's not supposed to be always pretty, and I think there's something beautiful in the standard type of style. So we just need to replicate more or less something like that in this area. Let me know if you guys like these little entrances. I do think it's something so small but makes such a big difference. So now we can clear out our inventory and get to planning the next part of this bridge. I was going to start marking out all these little flower beds and thought about using moss instead because they actually stay green in this biome and don't turn that funny shade of purple. When I noticed I don't have a lot of moss, if we open this backpack, you'll notice I have 24 and 1 block in my inventory. So I think it's time for us to go farm some more moss. And if I'm not mistaken, there's like a little destroyed area up here somewhere where I've been farming the moss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly over in that direction, farm some moss, and then I'll be right back to get these beds built. 1 moss block and a stack of bone meal later, and we're loaded. I think we're sorted for a little bit, so we can now go ahead and just dump all of these into my wood chest for now. Then we can go ahead and plan the little area we've got going over here, which will be more or less a garden. And I'm going to do it with moss first, and then after we've done placing all the moss, we can come around, texturize it, change it a bit, and add some detail to it all. And the first one I want to approach is this area over here, because I do feel like this little corner will do nice with a tree. If we hop on into free cam, we'll have some, I think, tall trees in this area, or maybe some smaller bushes. I'm not really sure yet. I do want to keep the low to high sideline like I mentioned, but looking at it now, I think it could look nice if we have smaller flowers and bushes, and we have one big tall tree like on each of these beds, and then maybe repeat a last one over here, so we have another tall-ish tree, almost like a fern type of thing. I think fern is the right tree. Or we should try and replicate something like this, a little bit more bushy tree on the edge, but I do think this is a bit more formal, so maybe the ferny type trees are better, or populous trees. I don't really know. I'm gonna build trees. Okay, let's start with these, and I do think that 7 should be enough for the beds. Coming up over here. Okay, let's rip all of this out. And let's see if we do 3. So right over here. Maybe we start over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we do the bed over here. So that this gives us a little bit more walkway before we're right into tree. And also we have that. And then maybe we can just do this and place some form of sign or notice board in this area. I do like that. Then 3 again, I guess. Let's rip this out. So 3 and then 5 again. Or do we want to do another notice board? Or even a little bench. So 2, 2. And then we do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 as well. Hey, no, this is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's gonna have to change. We can't do that. that's gonna break me. Okay, so we'll rip that out. We'll do that. 2 over there. So we'll have 5. And we have a 2 gap, and then it's again a notice or a sign. We have that. 2, 3, 4, 5. See, now this one's just a little too close. 3, 4, 5. I was thinking maybe we can cut this one shorter, but that's not going to work unless we do just a 3 bed over here, which honestly I don't mind, because then our like increments are still the same, and we just have a little 3 gap over here, which is fine. And then we can have benches over here, and then in this section we can maybe do another bed right over here. We just rip these 2 out. Perfect. I do think I like that. I like the increments and everything. I think it's perfect. This one's going to frame the tree real nicely. If you look all the way from over there, you look through, you see the tree. And now we can just continue it going that way. 3. I just want to see, should we do maybe something like this? Make it a longer bed? Yeah, no. Okay, cool. Let's add the rest of those real quick. And we've got everything in place. We've got it all textured up, and we used some of our brown dye that we recently started producing to create these little patches. So the next thing I was thinking is the little frame or the little border or the planter, whatever you want to call it, that holds all of this together. And I was thinking we keep it relatively simple. We're using copycat layers, and then we use the industrial iron sheet material. And I specifically want this button pointing out. We could always do the one that looks like corrugated running to the sides, or even running up and down, but I think I prefer the button. So if we run around and just fill these in real quick, we can see that it does not look bad at all. And then I was thinking, what if we just add some vertical slices and just bring in a pop of color with the oxidized copper? I do like that. I think it just brings it together. You don't need a lot of it, otherwise it's just too gray. And this just brings in that little bit of greenish cyan color, I guess. I don't really know. And that fixes that entire problem. So this looks good. And now we just need to do all of the others as well. There we have our flower beds. I do think they look pretty cool, and I think it's gonna look really nice if we have some trees in front of them or in them growing all the way up really tall. And then we can do little benches. So maybe we do like a sign on this side, a bench over here, sign and a bench, and we can even see what we do over there and going all the way around. But to do that, I think we need to hop into a little time lapse with a little build montage, and we get all of these things in because I'm a little bit cramped for time, but I do want to get it done. So yeah, grab yourself a snack, sit back, relax as we roll a little build montage. And just like that, we've completed a new addition to the city. So let's take a look all the way from over here on a little lookout island. Boom, we've got the trees, and I think it looks so cool. I like how they tower and how they individually placed. I think if we did them more bushy trees, it would not have had the same effect. And I know I said I wanted to keep the power lines taller, but I think this is actually the best for this area and for this landscape, this perspective. So let's quickly fly up and just see what it looks like. Maybe we should do one from this angle. Let's just do this real quick. Yeah, that looks cool. Let's just... yeah, this approach is really cool. It looks epic. I do like how this bridge is not just an open bridge anymore, and we've got things happening. We've got little seating areas where we can sit and wait for someone that's inside that shop, or just wait in general. And then we have all these little signs every now and then, and I try to keep it similar but different. So we have this one, for example, we have this tree, and this one's just seating. This one again is like a bigger signpost, and again just seating. So there are similarities, but there are also differences in what we do, and we brought it all the way over. See, this one's got 2 seats, and I think it just looks perfect. It frames the whole bridge so nicely. Again, I know I said I want to keep the power line tall and move lower to the front, but these trees just suit this area, and they look so cool. And then also this bridge, or this stairway going down and going up on this side, looks cool. Okay, yeah, I think this is such a nice addition. I did want to do things over here, but I don't think we should clutter it just yet. I might just go around and add some barrels and just crafting tables and stuff like that, just to have a few things every now and then. But apart from that, I don't hate it. Another thing we did, we can just quickly run back here. I finished off this back area by adding a tree here as well. So I ripped out that little island that was over there. I changed that so it's not so flat anymore, and we just added a little tree on this side as well. I am not sure, but I'm thinking we should maybe do like the fencing we have in different areas, just have a little fenced in area over here, almost like a little service yard. But for now, I think this looks really cool. Let's just hop on down here, and that's it. Nothing too special about it, but again, it just does so much for this building. And we can hop into free cam. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. It just rounds off the main street so well. So I'm pretty happy with whatever, well, with not whatever, but with everything. Ow, that's a fail. Everything we did in this area. Yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, that's epic. So I don't know, let me know down in the comments, do you like all the new trees and additions that we made to this bridge? Because I do, and I would like to hear your feedback on the matter. But we can't just be sitting around here doing nothing. No. We've got some very important work to do, and that is updating the citizen counter. We currently have 10,836 citizens. That means our population grew with a total of 39 new citizens. If you want to become part of the citizen counter, then do smash that subscribe button and help us reach our next big goal. So with the citizen counter updated and this bridge newly decorated, it brings us to the end of this episode, which I know it was a little bit of a shorter episode and a different episode, but I have been crammed for time, so I do want to apologize for the lack of videos over the past 2 weeks, but it's been really busy IRL. But with that said, I have a few things happening in the next few episodes, so be on the lookout for those, and please, if you haven't done so yet, smash that subscribe button and also leave a like on the video and let me know if you like the new trees in the upper city, the main bridge area. So yeah, let me know down in the comments. Till next time, take care, bye for now.